Alright, welcome to my third video on linuxMCE. In this one I'm going to talk about my installation of the software itself, how it went, and some things to look out for. And in my previous two videos I talked about the features of linuxMCE and gave some tips on how to build your own rig. And I hope that just through these videos that I can save somebody some trouble and hopefully get someone up and running and, give them hope instead of them giving up, because I actually tried to install linuxMCE earlier last year and had a lot of trouble. Couldn't get it working. I quit, but then I came back on a new release of linuxMCE and it worked great. And I couldn't be happier. It's amazing. My family loves it. So the first thing you need to know about installing the software is there's two different methods. The first is you can use what's called the quick install DVD, or you can use the installation CDs. Now the quick install DVD is just that. It's a very quick DVD install. You pop it in your drive and you reboot. The DVD will run a little setup program, and it'll ask you one question. Actually two questions. It will say, do you want to install? And you click that choice, and then it says which hard drive should I install on. And so there's no real, that's the only step for the actually getting the software on your computer, as opposed to the installation DVD CDs, which take a lot longer. So the quick install DVD is quick. It takes about 20 minutes from start to finish to install the software, but it does format your entire hard drive. So just be aware of that. I'm not sure if it can install to certain partitions of your hard drive or not, but I just went ahead and formatted the entire drive. It took 20 minutes. That is opposed to the regular installation CDs, and those you actually have to install Kubuntu first. And you also have to make sure you match the version numbers. So linuxMCE 7.10 has to be installed on top of Kubuntu 7.10. So that means you gotta not only download linuxMCE CDs, but you also have to download the Kubuntu CDs. And you gotta install Kubuntu, and I think when you do that, you should not do any updates. I might be mistaken, but you should install Kubuntu, not do any updates, and just go straight to the install CDs and install that on top of it. But that takes, the whole process with using the install CDs takes much longer. It's going to take you about 45 minutes to install Kubuntu, and then another hour and a half to 2 hours to install linuxMCE. So you're looking at quite a bit more time than the quick install CD. But the good thing about both installations is if you have an NVIDIA card, it will automatically install the driver for you. So I highly recommend you use that route and not install it by yourself, because I ran into trouble with that. Just let the installer do its thing. Okay, so after you've got the software actually copied onto your computer, you're going to want to reboot, and it's going to go into some command line stuff and start installing things. My advice here is just be patient. It might look like it's frozen. It probably hasn't. Just let it run, walk away from it, come back. Just let it download and it finish installing all the stuff it needs to. And depending on your internet connection, it might be just a few minutes to get through all that command line stuff. But don't reset in this time. Give it a little bit of time to do its work. And so then once you get to an actual GUI, the first thing it does is it runs this wizard that asks you all these questions like, what's your resolution, what plug are you coming out of in the back of the video card, stuff like that. What kind of sound interface do you want to use? It asks if you want to use, digital, optical, SPDIF, stuff like that. And it also asks you what type of interface you want to use inside the actual media center. And so that is based on how good your video card is. But if you get a decent card, you should be able to run the highest end, especially if you get NVIDIA. And so once that's done, you're gonna get into the, I don't know what you call it, the Quick Launch Manager, and that is what will update linuxMCE if there's any updates that come out. And so once that's done updating and loading, you'll actually get into the environment that I showed you in my first video. And when I first installed, I did not have the flicker pictures. I didn't actually have internet connection. And you go through this other wizard which asks you about the rooms in your house, and that is all dependent on whether or not you're going to do home automation. If not, you can just say, one room, go through it, and get ready to use the system. But if not, you got to go through those steps and tell it that you have a lighting control system and that you have a climate control, all that stuff. It seems like it's pretty automatic. But I don't know, I don't have any home automation, just media. And so when that's done, you'll go to pop in DVD. I went to pop in a DVD right after all of this was done, hoping that it would automatically start, and it said disk detected in the drive, but then it said it couldn't play it. And it turns out that I need to install a package, and I went to the software manager within the system and tried to install that package, but it wouldn't work because there's something wrong with my internet. And so basically what you'll find out really quick is that all of the settings for this thing are found within a website hosted on your computer, and it's called the web administration page. And I went in there and messed with my network settings, was able to get the internet back on, and basically what I had to do is tell it to use DHCP, and I turned off the router aspect of it too. I don't have any other computers connected, so I didn't need that. But when I turned that off and turned DHCP on, I think that's the right acronym, I had internet, and so I could install the package. And it wasn't very hard for me because I've used Linux before, and I could install that package even if I didn't have internet. I could do it on another computer and bring it over on a jump drive. But for someone who's not used Linux, or especially the setup, I could see that be very frustrating, not having internet out of the box and not being able to install the packages you need. But rest assured, you can fix that, and once you get these little problems fixed, it runs great. And so once I got the internet working, Flickr came on, I got the DVD package installed, and so I could watch DVDs. And then the only thing that was left to do is to set up my TV tuner. And what you do is you go into the Myth TV setup and you walk through that. And the way you can do that is you leave the linuxMCE environment and go to the Kubuntu desktop. And then you can go ahead and install your TV cards. And in Myth TV you can do the channel scanning and you can name them, and if you have a Schedules Direct account you can get the listings and all that stuff. That's done in the Myth TV setup. It's not done in the linuxMCE setup. It's only if you have a few special cards will it work in the linuxMCE setup. But just go into the Myth TV one and you'll be good to go. It'll set up your TV card, and then it will be a flawless transition from Myth TV into linuxMCE. And that's really all the problems I had. It was getting that internet working, and turning off the router stuff. But that's really it for my experience in the issue. If you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to help you guys. Or if I know the linuxMCE forums are not as good as they could be, but have hope, hold out, and once you get this thing working, it's great, and it amazes your friends. Just invite people over and show them what you can do, especially that gyroscopic remote. But yeah, so that's my experience. I hope that helps some of you guys, fight through it, get it working, because it's worth it. So, and I might make some more videos later, but for now, that's it.